Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hunters of all ages, welcome, my friends. Oh, Glowy Beard, to this week's Tackle Box. I am your host, Glowy Beard, and as you can see, I am joined by two very important guests this week. Look at how glowy we are, and it's not wanting to change. Oh my goodness, this is just how it goes when you go live. As you all know, the release of our Weapon Pack 10, in fact, the high caliber Weapon Pack has just been released. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to do this while talking. Alongside the pistol packet update that's absolutely loaded up with goodies. If you haven't checked it out, it is available now on all platforms. We're really pleased to see the reception to it. Make sure to go and check that out. But we're here to talk about in detail some of the new weapon pack. We're going to talk about the free pistol packet update. But as you can see, I have two very special guests with me today, and I'm really pleased to have them out. We are once again joined, and thank you for this, by our good friend Arshak. And let me introduce you all to Max, one of our designers. Welcome, gentlemen. Nice to have you with us today.
Hello. Nice to be here.
Hello.
Really pleased. You know, it's always a treat to get you guys out here, man, and to have you out around something like this. There is some juicy stuff in this update, and I know we're going to get a chance to talk about it, and I'll show some of it off while we're streaming, while we go through some of the Q&A that the community has put together through our Discord. Thank you all very much. We had so many to sift through, and we'll try and answer some of them. Obviously, some we weren't able to, like, you know, can we have this in game? Can we have that in game? Just to group all those together, yeah, anything's possible. But beyond that, we really do have some cool stuff to talk about, and we will get into that. Now, before we really get into the nitty gritty, if you have missed it, the free pistol packing update has come with some real juicy stuff. I'm going to just run through it really quick. Gentlemen, just give me a second here. So the full patch notes are in the article if you guys want to go see them. There's lots of great improvements and bug fixes to come with it. I urge you to go and take a read through it. We've got the speed loaders. We've got the new bear drink times. We've got so many goodies to go through, and we're going to start talking about some of those. But before we move on, have you guys seen what could possibly end up on your computer desk if you're quick? Because I don't know, I think supplies are limited. Have you met Robo the Roo? Have you guys got Robo with you there? You do!
Look at this. Here it is.
If you want to know who Robo the Roo is, he's come to life from our Emerald Coast update. Our gentlemen are kindly modeling, as you can see. Yeah, I think it's a limited time. I don't have all the details, but go and check it out on the makeshift website. There are links around to be found. It's pretty cool. It's you know, nice to have a plushie of our game. It's pretty cool, man. I'm pumped, and thank you guys for bringing that down, because I think mine got lost in the mail all the way over here to old Canada land.
Oh no. Get a new one.
Yeah, well, clearly. I mean, I think I know somebody at the company, so I'll do my best.
Exactly.
That one came out of left field. I got to be honest. I think it's really cool. I know a lot of the community were surprised when they saw it, and I've had a lot of requests for them. A lot of people are sending me messages, and I, disclaimer, don't have any here, nor do our devs have any in their back pocket to hand out. Go and check them out on the website, guys, and let us know what you think in the Discord. What's up, chat? Good to see you all. Welcome, everybody. I know, I'm sorry, Mr. Milk. It is what it is. Okay, so, yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to cover here today, guys. First, I just want to say a big thank you to both of you. I know I see the amount of time and effort that our devs put into this stuff. And this weapon pack, you know, we've had lots of different iterations of guns to come to the game. And, you know, I have found it really handy, these loadouts that you guys have been giving us with these. I don't know if I guess I can't call it a one-off anymore. We had the 243 variety. Now we have the 4570 in this single shot. This isn't on our list of questions, and this one's directed at both of you. I would love to know if you have any insights, that because a few of the folks have asked me this. You know, when you're selecting weapons and you're kind of picking things as you go, something like this is very unique. It's so cool. Here, let me just throw one down range there. You've given us something that has so much utility in this game. I'm not sure everybody realizes it yet. We can make some really incredible loadouts here. Was this the intention of these weapons with the low weight, with the high pack of punch? I don't even know where this question's going. You guys have just really impressed a lot of us with this.
Yeah, I mean,
Go
a
ahead.
lot of this was because we know we have a really big arsenal, so we're trying to find ways to round it out, find a way so everyone can get their own unique loadout for what they wanted. For the 4570, there was two key things. One, we already had the Thompson, which is very universal to take into your arsenal. It has a big class range, can do a lot, but it's only those lower end calibers. So a very obvious point for us was to take another Thompson so we can round it out. They're lightweighted, although it's only one bullet. They're long range, so they're very versatile. And with this, we knew that we wanted to eventually go back and update some ammunitions, update some of the older stuff. And we chose the 4570 to give that some love with this. So it was just match made in heaven with the Thompson and the 4570.
I'll say, is it ever? I'm shooting this thing right now, and it's just surprising to have such a cool caliber come to the game like this. And I know that here, let me actually flip over to here, because I do think there was talk of this, and we may as well jump right into some of these questions while I have you talking about this, Max. So Huxley Hound asked in the Discord, does the 4570 rework mean you're going to slowly improve the base game rifle calibers? The Jenberg coming with the update to the ballistics of the 4570 is his favorite gun of the entire update. He's more than ready to admit he's a lever gun fanatic, but every lever action in the game, aside from the original 10 gauge, feels like a miss, he says. What are your thoughts on that, Max?
Yeah, so normally, we all know that it's a very big arsenal for the game currently, so it's very hard to just look into everything. Of course, we want to put it the right time to make it right. So it's much easier for us to focus on a caliber that's going into a new weapon pack, because then we can give it the love and the time that it needs.
Makes sense.
Since we chose the 4570, of course, we wanted to improve that. For the 10 gauge, there we tried to experiment a bit, since the current one we had was an older black powder brass shell. It's harder for us to compare for a bullet we don't already have. But of course, everything we add is based on the game that's currently there, and since we wanted to round out with a bigger caliber, that's why we chose the bigger 10 gauge.
I think it's a great choice. I really do. I think that 10 gauge is lovely. and we'll take a closer look at that one. And I really like what's happened with the 4570. We're moving in the right direction with the slight improvements we've seen. It's got better velocity, less drop. Man, this thing, it's surprising at range, I have to tell you. When you throw the scope on this and you run around, I know our effective zeroing goes up to 200 meters, but I dropped a couple at 350 plus, and it was punching into them. So very well done, gentlemen. Chat, virtual claps all around. If you like the 4570, what's happening with it? I'm pretty big. I'm pretty big on this one. So well done, you guys. I can see
you also got some love there for your aiming, so that might be some of it as well.
Oh, well, that's actually something that came to the pistol packing update, right? I know our QA spent a lot of time on some of the adjustments and such, so you should see everything hitting bang on now. I mean, it's most did, but it was something they wanted to just give a little bit of love to. And when you combine that with this update, like, we have some really juicy stuff here. Love it. Oh yeah, look at chat. Look at that. There's the claps. Love you guys, man. That's fantastic. Right on, Anko. Glad you guys are enjoying it. Now, listen, if there are some questions that you have, chat, that we don't get to here, for the ones that that we've pulled from the Discord, we will actually try and get through some. Of course, questions that like we can answer, because there's some obviously we can't. All right, that's good. Let me jump over here. All right, well, Arshak, I have one for you, sir.
Yes.
Here's a little. It's community theory crafting, if you will, or hopes, dreams, desires. Now, this one came from our very good friend Zara BG, a very active member in our community. Good guy. He's always throwing us some good questions, and he got one in here, and he says, "Is the rumors we hear in EW live streams of you guys considering adding the big five, meaning animals such as elephants, rhinos, hippos, giraffes, and leopards to the game, are indeed true?" I have something to say to that before you answer that. These aren't exactly rumors that we're adding it. You guys have asked me would we consider it, and I have said yes. We would always consider anything.
I was gonna say, who has been spreading these rumors? Do we have a mole amongst us?
I don't know where
Jackson?
that would have come from. But what do you think
yes,
of that?
yes. I mean, it's so hard to give a good answer that's like, meaty and interesting, while not saying it's like, yeah, in the future sometime. But so what I can say is there is nothing on the roadmap. Right? There is nothing on the roadmap. And what that means is our roadmap is about a year and a half in the future. So there's nothing on the roadmap now. So I can dispel that rumor pretty firmly. But that doesn't mean that we don't discuss these animals. We do discuss all animals, all locations. So our horizon is very big. We could do almost anything. So yes, we do consider it. It is something that we look at rather often. But the thing is, like, when you have animals such as giraffes or elephants, you have to also consider that they're very big animals. So if you put them in your trophy lodge, their heads would basically stick through the roof, right? So we can't just put them in and just, whatever happens with the bugs happens. So it's a big decision. It has downstream ramification that we have to consider. So the short of the answer is no, it's not on the roadmap, but it is on our radar. But it is a bigger request, so it needs to have a lot of consideration and love before it could just be put into the game.
It's a tough one, I know. And I mean, guys, everyone on our team is well aware of the ask that the community has. Now, let me just interpret for you, just because it's not on the roadmap in the next year and a half, that's because there's things already on there. So, but yeah, keep the excitement up, guys. We're always watching Discord. I did see the other day the big five hit 600 upvotes. And actually, let me just say something too. With those upvotes, I don't ever want anybody to think because you're upvoting the this thing to the moon and back. There is always consideration the team needs to make, and it doesn't mean that things are going to get dropped and we're going to jump on this. And I'm sure both of you gentlemen, well, I actually know for a fact that Arshak's all over those forums and even has a spreadsheet of all the ideas. But you guys see the excitement that goes on in there and the passion that comes from our community, and it's unparalleled. None.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the more upvote it gets, the more likely it is that it ends up on our roadmaps, right? So your votes are what steers this ship, connected with our ability to make that in an awesome way, right? So keep up your upvotes, keep up your feedback. It's very useful for us. And as Jackson said, our roadmap it's there because we have to plan to make it work, right? We want to bring quality, and that needs us to plan in advance, or the cards or the puzzle piece of running this group works. So upvote, we read it, we compile it into our notes, we look at it, we plan, and at the end result, the game is what you get, right? So,
well said, absolutely, good. All right, well, we're going to move into the next one here. I'm going to throw one at you, Max. This one came from Houston Norris. And it's a juicy one. And it's actually been a big topic of conversation around the community, throughout the community. And it's something that if you folks haven't missed it, there was some rebalancing that happened in the free pistol packing update. Now, there's lots of reasons for this, but here, let me just read the question. We'll get some thoughts here from Max on this one. What is the reasoning behind some of the reclassifications? Some of them make sense, but there's those that do not. For example, Gemsbach being so low when they are famously tough IRL, or raccoons not being reclassified to level 1. when a 22 is the predominant caliber used to hunt them. What do you think on that, Max?
Yeah, so it's a hard question because of course, we are limited to 9 classes, and it's a very big roster that we currently have. And getting that equally distributed it's a challenge. So a lot of times when we did this, animals end up on the edge right between 2 classes, and then we have to go in the side to compare them to the neighboring classes' animals, and also to what calibers you use when you hunt them. So sometimes it might feel odd, but that's most likely because the animal is just on the edge of being in another class, but didn't get that extra bump to move there. But overall, yeah, they will fit with the weapons, and it should feel way better when playing.
So is this when we look at these reclassifications, so a lot of it has to do with weapons. I'm assuming some has to do with size of the animal. You take all this into consideration, right?
Yeah. So most things, of course, a moose is going to be hardier than a bunny. Yeah. So that's an easy change to do. But some animals, like a kangaroo, is quite odd because it has a big tail, smaller body. So there it's more about comparing them to similar animals, both in mass, weight, and overall size, but also looking at what calibers are they hunted with in real life, and where in our roster do they fit with our weapons, because our weapons are also, of course, tied to the classes.
Okay, and I think that'll make a lot more sense for some folks, because I've seen conversations, and when I personally consider, if I take the weight into it, a lot of it makes sense. Just looking at that, now adding the weapon variation with the different classes of ammo, and there's a need for game balance, folks. Obviously, everything's not going to be 100% true to form. We don't want a simulator, but we want a nice experience. I like to draw attention. One of the conversations I've had recently, Max and Arshak, was about the taking the elk and the red deer into consideration. I've been asked, why didn't red deer get bumped to be the same class as elk? But as far as I see it, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I've never hunted red deer IRL. There is a considerable weight difference. Elk are much bigger. But now, is that something that would be considered because they are similar? I mean, it is a couple 100 pounds separating them.
Yeah, that's kind of a edge case where it's close in between 2 classes, and we also have to compare it, of course, to the elks because they're very big animals in that class. But that's also one of the scenarios where we had to look at both real life calibers, where we know you can hunt them with bigger calibers, but it's not the most common thing from what we could find. And to fit better with our current weapons, being in that class is where decidedly that fit best.
I think it's a good fit. I do understand the ask is coming from a lot of our grinders. They would love to smack those red deers with the big calibers. I get it. But there are some great options. Yeah?
Are you using an aimbot? That's crazy, man. What the hell was that?
Oh, I've got a few hours in the game.
Yes. I mean, that was spot on 10s for like 3 shots in a row with no time in between. Jesus.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Wow.
I just a little bit of gaming in my world these days. So.
All right.
Now, if I only had a way
doing
to
it while talking.
Yeah, exactly. Talking and aiming.
Yes.
You're going to make me blush. Look, more questions. Thank you for that, though. That's been a really big topic of conversation. Not my aim, but with the changes to the animals, and arguably, folks, everybody in chat, and this is what I keep telling everybody: it's a balance thing, and our team does the best to create the best experience, and this was something that it was maybe a little overdue and needed to be looked at and addressed. Maybe you're not happy with all the changes. Maybe there'll be adjustments based off your feedback in the future. Let us know in the Discord. We have the forums there for exactly this reason, to get your thoughts, your dreams, your life aspirations. Okay, let's not get carried away. We don't want to go that in depth. All right.
There's this saying. I don't know if you've heard it, Jaxie. It's nobody likes the way it is, and everybody hates change. It's a general term of everything in life, which is pretty true, right?
I think we just had the meaning of life disclosed on stream. Like, for real. That's actually very insightful. I like that. I'm going to use that with my kids.
Yeah.
Well, not bad. Not bad. Well, you know what, Arshak? I'm going to give you one then, since you hit me with that.
All right, go.
Here's a fun one. Okay, arguably one of the biggest, if not the biggest addition to come to the Hunter Call of the Wild was the Great Ones. Now, there's always conversations out there. Always. And I mean, I can't begin to tell you, I have this conversation probably once to twice a week, sometimes more. What is the process of making a new Great One, asks Ender. Tough.
Well, yeah, it's a tough one because there's I guess two parts to it. The first part is like the choice of animal, right? And that's maybe where me and Max live, right? So deciding what animals we're gonna do as a Great One next. But there's also the question of how do you create one, the artwork that goes into it, which I'm not well equipped to answer. So I'll maybe gloss over that part. But firstly, the choice we make in deciding the Great One is, again, partially by reading what you guys want. You know, we do surveys asking you what animals are you mostly into turning into a Great One, which we have very high on our list of like factoring in which one we choose. The second one is, again, looking at our our roster of reserves. Like what do we have? If we choose this animal, where would it go? What do we want to highlight? The next reserve that are coming, how does it fit into that? Does it fit into the weapons we're making? So it's I mean, I can't really say exactly the choices we'll make because it might be different at times. If it's a weapon pack we're releasing, and that's like, oh, this weapon pack is going to be really cool, then that might weigh a bit more into the Great One we make. If it's something else on our roadmap that we think this is something we want to highlight, then that might be it. If there's nothing specific on the roadmap that we want to highlight, then it might be just because the community really wants it. So it's a mix of all things, right?
Okay.
And that's what we think about. And then the only thing I can actually say about like the artists that work on it is that I know it's like at least double or 3 times the amount of time it takes to make a normal animal.
Right.
So the Great Ones take a considerable more amount of time to create. And the steps we do is we do concept paintings of, like, you know, drawings of it, like it could be this, it could be that. What type do we want it to be? Are we going to like ferocious or majestic or a bit more maybe fun? And then we decide depending on what type of animal that is and like how it basically the mythos of that animal in the wild. We try to make it to fit.
I mean, it makes sense too. Hearing you talk about this and why it takes so long. I mean, look at the Great One bears, look at the moose, look at all those fur variations that we have with that. Now, maybe I'm not supposed to go off script, but I know of some other questions that are asked a fair bit about Great Ones. First, I'm going to put you on the spot with this one. One that I see quite often, folks want to know, do you think there's a chance we will ever see a Great One that is not available on a base map? Hirschfelden.
If there's a chance, if there's a chance we might get a Great One that's not on a base map.
Right.
That's the question.
Yes, because to date, all of our Great Ones have been available via the dare I say, the free maps, right? The base maps, Hirschfelden and Layton. Yeah. Because, you know, we understand, and it's been talked about before, we don't want to put things behind paywall, but there comes a point where maybe are we going to start adding things that are only available in the DLC? Like, this is asked a lot, is the only reason I'm putting you on the spot, and I would love folks to get a little insight from our devs themselves on.
So my political answer to that is, I guess, like, this is one of those things that's, yeah, a bunch of people might want it on a specific map because they own that DLC, right? And other people will go like, well, I don't own that DLC, I don't want it there. So it's such a tough, it's like, yes, we want to do it, but it's so tough to get right.
Yes.
Right? So that's what we consider. But yeah, there might be one in the future.
It's possible.
I mean, there will be a time where we've done all the animals in the base reserves. So I mean, at that point, what do we do? So yes, it will happen, but on the time scale, I cannot disclose.
Yeah, there you go, chat. I went out on a limb for you on that one. Okay, and you know, the great ones, they've just been such a popular addition. I mean, we literally have seen a whole new style of gameplay sprout up. We have grinders now where their focus is nothing but great ones. And maybe that's actually a good segue into talk just very briefly about the Black Bears, because they got a new drink time, which I'm wearing a hat and I'm tipping it right now in our devs general direction. This was something that has been asked for quite some time. You know, since we did the change on our home ranges, Black Bears they became one of the more difficult great ones to hunt. In fact, it was rather prestigious for a while there. If you managed to get one, holy cow, it was quite hard to do. But with this change, in case you haven't seen it, folks, Black Bears got a new drink time with the pistol packing update. They now drink from 4 a.m. until 8 a.m. But there was a decision made, and we explained it last stream, and we understand your time and your progress. And in the past, we've seen when we've had to do a population reset, it's just not something we want to do. It takes away a lot of progress for people. So we're trying something a little bit differently. Whether it's the most popular, whether you appreciate it, some do, some might not. We're trying it to see what you guys think and how it plays out. Currently, what you'll need to do is go to your old drink times and shoot out those bears around those drink times. So you'll have bears in there. Go and set your clock to 2100 or so. Your bears will start coming in. When you shoot them, they will then respawn with the new drink times, and you'll find them during the daytime. Now, this could be a little different for some folks that maybe have never hunted them at night. You will have to go to those lakes. There's some great guides out there. Our partner creators have put out some really good information on it. And you know, maybe we'll talk a little more about this in the future, but we want to see what you guys think and how it plays out. We could have done a population reset, but that is a last resort, as I'm sure both of our devs here will tell you. It's something that is very strongly considered at the best and worst of times, right?
Yeah, I mean, population reset is really the nuclear option, and
I like that.
This being a way trying to find some reason that you guys don't have to restart everything, and we have to press that big red nuke button. As Jaxie said, seeing how this plays out, it's only, 5 hours in? 6 hours in?
Yep.
So we hope to see that this is a viable option, only so we don't have to use the big red button in the future.
Yeah, I can see in the chat that some people like it, some people don't. So it's the same thing with the Great One DLCs, right? Where we have to try to take decisions that take. But there's also, I'm babbling here, but there's also the factor that different people play in different ways. So a segment of people might not like it. Another segment might think, this is fine for me. Like, I enjoy this. And we have to try to balance those without, making one segment really angry. But as Max was saying, this is something we're experimenting with. Make your opinions known, and we'll take that into consideration forward.
It's a tough one, guys. Honestly, chat, I have seen firsthand for the time that I've been with Expansive Worlds, any time that there's been a population reset, the mood is grim. Nobody wants to do it. We understand. So we're trying it. Everybody's not going to be happy with it, but some people will be. So again, let us know in the Discord. Thank you for addressing that, guys. It's I don't want to say elephant in the room because that'll get a whole conversation started.
Is that the mole? The mole is at it again.
Absolutely. All right, Max, you're up, buddy. I got another one for you here, my friend. Now, Bridge Art Studios asked this one. And he says, will we get more weapon reworks? Many guns, specific mid to large game rifles, have very unrealistic ballistics. Guns such as the 6.5 are great for long range, but just have nowhere near the power they should. I think there should be some guns that just need a little buff. Is this something that we would be able to see anytime soon? This kind of ties into what you were talking about earlier. But what do you think of that?
I mean, as of today, there's no current plans on this on the roadmap. I would personally like to take a pass over the weapons, but seeing as how big the arsenal is, that's going to take a really long time. So currently, the state we can do it is how we've done it with the 4570, is that when we highlight something in a weapon pack, that gives her an opportunity to spend a little more time and a little more love on just that. I think it's important that we find that fine line of both giving you new content, but also improving on what we have.
Very good. Very good. Good answer. I mean, and we get it. One thing you have to consider, guys, is you've heard talk of the roadmap. You've heard talk of the different plans and things that are coming down the pipeline. And I say this all the time. It's all about that manpower, that bandwidth, and you know, if you take the manpower to do this, you're taking away from that. So it's a hard juggle. It's a juggle that I don't envy you gentlemen for, because I can only imagine how tough some of these decisions are. But you made some good ones, I'll say, especially with this high caliber weapon pack. I'm having too much fun here just taking shots at the range right now. Man, that was good. That was good. And you know, thank you everybody who gave us some real good questions. There was a lot, and there wasn't any bad questions. You can see a lot of the passion shine through for our community when you start asking stuff like this, because it always turns into, will we ever get a new multiplayer vehicle? Will we get bait sites? Will we get traps? You know, will we get trail cabs? Oh my god, I could go on forever. But some of these are great. They really, really are. And this is fun. I'm actually glad you guys are into doing this.
There he goes, creating rumors.
I'm not creating the rumors. This comes from oh, I'm in for it, man. I don't see you guys next week or tomorrow even. You know why.
New map.
All right, Arshak. Are
Yes.
there plans to optimize the game for next-gen consoles further than we have? Sorry, this one comes from Bifocal Cube 76. I just want to say who's throwing these out there, because that's a good one. That's one that comes up often. What do you think on that?
Short and sweet answer. We are investigating those options, but I cannot say more.
I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
I think it does. I know that's a tough one, because I was here when we took our first iteration at improving that, and it was to increase the frame rate and stuff. But I can only imagine there's challenges trying to keep this on all platforms. I mean, we've got PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and all the iterations of Xbox, and yeah, it's got to be tough. So interesting to see what happens in the future. That was a good one, Bifocal.
I can quickly highlight why we can't say more as well.
Oh, could you?
If you'd like.
Please do.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you think about it, it's pretty simple. Like, people expect stuff, and you see this from the requests they have, right? There's a lot of requests, and that makes it into a puzzle. We have to put a puzzle on, like, okay, this is what people want, this is what we should do, this is what we need to do to make the game work in the future. These are quality requests, like these are quality requests for the players, quality requests for us as developers to be able to continue making this game. And that puzzle changes a lot, right? And if I were to say something now and then, 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 month down the line, plan changes, then we'll have to put out all new communication. So that's why it's preferable to not say until we're sure.
That's a great answer. That actually ties into something I'm telling folks quite often, and that's it's why we don't show a roadmap. And I think you guys can back me up on this. I think that's largely because we're so community oriented. A lot of times, if we gave a roadmap, guys, and it showed you what was happening for the next 2 years, but then the community was so vibrant and enthusiastic about something, and our devs decided to put it in, And they'd already said they've locked themselves in. So that actually lends really well to the next gen console question, because it's all about those roadmaps and stuff. So yeah, I get that. Okay, let me move down here. Which one? Here we go. This is for you, Max. This one's for you, buddy. Of course, Arshak, you can chime in as well. But with the release of the high caliber DLC, I wonder if there's any thoughts or consideration to adjust the damage performance around some of the rounds. And did I just read this? No, I did not. Oh, it's very similar. Some of the rounds of game specific to the high caliber pack. I think both the 4570 and the 338 could be made to hit a little bit harder. For a class 9 capable round, the 4570 has always felt a little bit underwhelming compared to its real-life close-range terminal ballistics. And secondly, the difference between the 338 and 300 has always felt pretty small. So especially with the 300 Win Mag AR being released, I think the 338 could be tweaked to hit a more noticeable amount harder than the 300 in terms of penetration and expansion. Now, this one comes from Gwynblade within Discord, and I have seen this discussed. I know that there's a lot of game balance to be considered, but what do you think, Max?
Yeah, I think it's a good question initially, but for the 4570 specifically, I'd speak more on that since that's very active right now. With buffing older calibers, it's very easy to overbuff them. So with this, I'm a little cautious, of course, because we don't want to make it too powerful. Then everyone will only use that gun. But again, boring answer. But it's not been out for so long, and I want to see and gauge how people find it. I know now we've seen a lot of people playing with the new Thompson, but since the ammunition is also usable for the old lever action, I still haven't seen anyone play with that yet, and I want to see that. But yeah, same answer as before. With new weapon packs, if we highlight older ammunitions, that gives them an opportunity to look at them, see if we want to change them, see how we want to go. Yeah.
That's a tough one. That is a tough one because it's about that balance, right? It's about that balance. I understand that. But, a lot of this, folks, it comes from you guys and a lot of your feedback within the Discord as well. And it's maybe why the 4570 got to look at. It's we've seen it in the past with other rounds that maybe, as you said, when they get buffed, they could be a little OP. We've actually had that happen, although our devs jumped on that pretty quick, and it's had that good balance. So, yeah, I think you guys do a good job at it. At the end of the day, we need to remember that it's not real life. There needs to be an in-game balance because honestly, if everything hit just the same as real life, what's the point in having all the guns if a lot of them perform the same?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see it as don't want to give you the big boomstick toy and then take it away from you. That might be kind of boring.
But I like boomsticks. I'm not going to complain.
See, so you would be sad if I took it away from you.
Yeah, it's as designers, it's easier to add than take away. So we have to be pretty careful when we add stuff, right?
Yeah. Yes, I totally get that. Okay, good. Well, we're gonna move in because holy, I didn't think we might not even get through all these. Okay, this one comes from, oh my goodness, did you really just do this to me? How am I supposed to pronounce these things? Nuidzalani. I'm sorry, Nuids. I know I'm screwing that up, brother. Asks, are there any plans to add more customization to the character, custom clothing, etc.? Arshak, what do you think?
The boring answer is there's nothing on the short-term roadmap. But I'm curious. What are your thoughts on crafting your own gear based on the furs of the animals you harvest? Would that be cool? Is that something the community would like?
I'm sorry.
Doing some quick surveying here, just randomly. I'm not confirming anything. I'm just asking.
Chat.
Would that be cool?
Wow. Now, there's one to get the folks talking.
I'm getting some yeses.
I'm not sure if chat likes that idea.
Nope. Maybe yes. Mixed.
If I may, oh my, what a I'm speechless. I'm speechless right now. That would be an incredible option. As you can see, folks, they are always looking to improve. But just from that reaction to what we want to see, I can only imagine. Holy, I don't even know what to say. That was wow.
Yeah, just a question. Nothing is confirmed. I'm just asking. And I like, yes, somebody wrote about functional clothing also as modern clothing. Yes, it's not on our roadmap. Neither is crafting your own gear. I was just asking, but we do look at all options. Somebody talked about Red Dead Redemption, and yes, we do look at other games, what they do. So our horizons are big.
Yeah, I mean, I hope a clear thing from this discussion is to see that maybe us two are not that active in Discord, but we are lurking.
Yes,
we do read, we do see what gets the thumbs up. Like, if you're vocal enough and if you show what you want, it's easier for us to gauge.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Now,
but there's a bunch of times when I want to write something. I'm like, I'd like to just comment here. My fingers are, or I'd like to, but I have to refrain.
Excuse me. I have to say, chat, so as you know, I like to take advantage of the direct feedback we can get. That's exactly what just happened right there. Don't worry. Oh, wow. That was awesome. I love getting people talking like that, and pretty fantastic. So there you go. There could be plans for it in the future. I'm a big supporter, gentlemen. I got to be honest. I'm a huge supporter of clothing that'll actually reduce your scent, reduce your visibility, like we would buy, in the real world hunting space, just to try to be more hidden. It's part of the art of hunting. So you've got my hopes up that maybe things could happen in the future. We'll see. That was a good one. Wow. Patricia, we're gonna have to vet these a little better. All right, here we go. I'm gonna hit you with another one, Arshak. You're just giving me juicy stuff here.
All right.
With the recent expansions and customizations, have the team considered doing like a collab bundle? It'd be awesome to play the game with skins based on content creators or other games, asks Barley from the Discord.
I actually think that's a really cool idea. So I've just copy pasted that to our marketing team as is. So hopefully we'll get to see that in the future. There's nothing again in the plans now, but really fun idea. Hopefully we'll get that to happen. Make that happen.
And maybe if we get clothes, we can get a Jackson beard.
Yeah.
Collab.
Oh no, our other game they're already taking heat for it. You don't want to do that. We have guns in our game. Everybody would be trying to shoot that model, so that's pretty cool though. And I know it's always been a big ask, and I know it's something the teams always want to look at. So pretty cool to get some input on that. Pretty cool. All right, Max, not going to leave you out of the mix here, buddy. We're going to keep moving, so we make sure we get through this. Now, this question actually comes from King of the Quacks. He's one of our top moderators in the Discord. He's a great guy, actually. He's very passionate about our game. He says some general questions about the Trophy Lodge improvements. Is there any plans to add a new Trophy Lodge DLC in the near future? Is there plans to upgrade or rework how Trophy Lodges work and the restrictions of mount, stand, plaque requirements, and more universal multi-mounts? Plans to make the Leighton Lake Lodge able to be hosted in multiplayer? Plans to add more info to the information given on animals in the lodges? Like place shot, weapons used, ranges, etc. That's more than one question, King. I got to be honest. But it's some good ones. You guys both might have to tackle that. What do you think, Max?
I mean, I will start with the official answer of this stream. In the near future, we currently don't have anything like that on the roadmap, unfortunately. Although I like the ideas. This is something that we want to bring the right love into, seeing as how big of a core loop the Trophy Lodge is, how much everyone uses it, and such. Currently, all that love is occupied by other things, but it's definitely not something that we would write off just like that. We would want to give it the right love and the right amount of time.
Yeah, trophy lodges is a huge part of the game, right? So we do consider it a lot. There's a lot of work that goes into it. But yeah, since the question is so broad, like the only answer we can give is nothing is planned generally for it. But yeah, we are looking to more information, plaque changes, multi-mounts, and all that. Yes, it is on our radar. We consider it.
Yeah.
So a half answer.
Yeah.
Half answer. Hey, that's pretty good, really, because you know, there's a lot there. There's a lot to unpack. I mean, plans to make the Leighton Lake Trophy Lodge able to be hosted a multiplayer is an interesting one, because I know that that's a free lodge, and literally it was a gift from our devs to the community, just for those that, you know, maybe weren't, again, because the trophy lodges were behind the paywall. This is what something they wanted to do. To get that into a multiplayer setting, that might be a tough one, hey guys, because I know you know you can host it, and a lot of people like to do that. They'll take you into their lodge and show you this room here is this and this is that. But I guess that's not something that was considered at inception of the trophy lodge. The Leighton Lake one specifically, right? It's got to be hard.
I mean, none of us were here from the start. It's hard to say what they considered initially, but in the future, of course, we can pivot to a direction that fits the current game. So yeah, that's where the love part comes in, to give that enough time to grow into something everyone will love.
Yeah, there are some back-end considerations to take into the Leighton Lodge, so I can't really answer to how that works. I'd have to check with our programmers or back-end people to get a better answer, but I'll see if I can have that for the next stream.
Very good. Very good. It's a tough one. But, you know, Chad, as you can see, very much aware, our devs are very aware on how important those trophy lodges are to everybody. So cool to have that conversation. Actually, really like seeing that. Good one, King. Good one, brother. Let's move along. Holy, did I not? Let's see. I'm just sort of keeping note on all the ones that I've asked here, just so I don't go through and do them again. Okay. Here's a tough one. Arshak, I think you should tackle this one, buddy. There is a reason the new map is in development for almost a year. Can you please give us a slight tease of what's coming while we have this opportunity of having you guys all together in the stream? Now, this one comes again from Zara BG, he's such a passionate fan. I can't blame him for asking. What do you think? Because that's tough.
Can I give a tease?
Yeah. Yes, I mean, marketing says no. Yes.
Marketing computer says no. No, I cannot. I would maybe get fired, so I'm not going to take the chance.
I'm faced with that.
My bosses will not be. Oh, I cannot. But I mean, yes, there is reasons for it taking more time. I think it's a really cool reserve. I'm hoping that everybody's going to agree with me. We are giving it more time. But one also has to consider that the added time we are using isn't just for like putting everything into the reserve. We do other things, right? We're improving our back end. We have over the last years improved on our quality a lot. We don't miss sim ships. I don't know if you remember back in the day where we used to miss sim ships. So we've taken care of a lot of our quality or technical depth, it's called. So we're working towards making sure that in the future our quality bar is very high. We keep it high. We have like a Gordon Ramsay type character, you know, screaming at us, "What is this? Don't release this. This has to be better." So all that kind of, you know, is what happens, and we're trying to always keep our quality high. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure everybody prefers quality over quantity, right? Pretty sure everybody thinks that. Yeah,
think so.
And I know people, if they could decide, I mean, they would prefer quality and quantity. But I mean, honestly, I know some card tricks, but I'm no magician. I can't make that happen, you know. So there was only that much time in the day. So
you're a natural, Arshak. I got to be honest, buddy. You really are. Absolutely love it. That was a really tough one, Zara. That was a really, really tough one. It's hard to answer something like that, as you've heard him say. It's the same thing that you guys do to me weekly. We want to be able to tell you, but for reasons out of our control, we cannot. But not bad, not bad. And I'm glad that Arshak didn't just get fired. We've grown rather attached to him. Now, so we've got a couple other ones here. This one comes from Zen. Will rare and uncommon furs be highlighted on the harvest screen? If so, when would this happen? How many other quality of life changes are being considered at the moment? Seeing as some requests are currently well over 400 likes. Will rare and uncommon furs be highlighted on the harvest screen? I mean, they are currently. When you pick up your harvest screen, it displays if it's a rare. I'm not entirely sure what Zen's asking with that first part. However, how many other quality of life changes are being considered at the moment?
So I think the question is regarding that. You see what type of fur it is. Like it says albino, it says whatever, but it doesn't say if this specific one is rare, right? It just says the name of the type. Yeah. So yes, this one is, as I said, my Discord request tab or whatever you want to call it, my Excel sheet. This one is always high. So this UI quality request is, I'm very well aware of it. It's very much on our radar. Yeah. So hopefully in some near future it'll get looked at. But it's one of those questions that we like, resources, resource management. Yeah.
That is a good one, because honestly, I will say something I have seen in the past myself is some confusion, especially when there's new species coming out. Although it's kind of fun to watch the community come together, and they really do come together to figure this out. There's some great spreadsheets out there, but sometimes there's some confusion on what the rares are, because when you see, like, for instance, I guess it's like the mallards have a piebald that's listed as an uncommon, if I'm correct. It's not listed as a rare, but piebald's rare in all the other species. So yeah, I think that kind of lends to that as well. It'll be interesting to see what can happen. Clearly, chat, you can see it's on their radar. It's something that could be considered. Good answer.
Yeah, I also, I think I mentioned this last time. It's for us, it's not a game of yes, it's a game of no. Because there's so much things we want to do. Like, there's so many things that if I could do it, if I were a magician, I do more than half of them. But we can't, because there's not enough time. Yeah. There's 1 year. We want reserves. You guys want reserves, right? And that takes a considerable amount of time for us. So we have to look at the puzzle pieces and okay, this could fit here, that could fit here, and then we think we're pretty good at knowing what the players want. And I hope we are. I hope players are happy. But naturally, we do need to reconsider things based on your requests. So that's what we do. So yeah, I guess a long-winded answer.
Yeah, I mean, even then, that goes back to the activity on Discord.
Yes.
For this question, I've seen the design as well that they made in Discord, where they highlighted the quality in orange, where they had the rare tag. So we are listening. Fortunately, we can't do everything at the same time. But yeah, as Arshak said, it's definitely on our radar.
Just remember that. Somebody click that for me, please. We are listening. It's important. It's important. Because I see a lot of folks will make these incredible suggestions. And I know I've seen the conversations around at work in the office of people saying that, yeah, we would love to do that. But again, as they've just explained, it's bandwidth, it's time, it's can we fit that in? Yeah, that's a tough one. Good one, guys. That's a good answer. It's nice for folks to hear that directly from you guys instead of me not confirming nor denying all the time. Okay, this one's a loaded question, and it's one that's been asked for a while. To be honest, but I know it's a tough one, because I've even asked a lot of our folks at work, and this comes from Mr. Schrader. Who, by the way, big shout out, Mr. Schrader. He's done a lot for this community. Recently became a mod in our official Discord and is selflessly giving his time to help the community he's been so passionate about. Now, he's asked, will we ever get trophy shots? This is something that was added into Classic, which runs on an older and less advanced engine, completely different engine. So I see no reason why they can't be implemented into Call of the Wild. I just prefer going any further. If it's in Red Dead, it should be in Call of the Wild too. It's a completely different engine. If someone has an answer as to how they can't be able to Call of the Wild, I would greatly appreciate knowing.
So I guess my answer to this is, if this time scale is ever, will we ever get trophy shots? Then the answer is yes. Eventually you will get it. But if you ask me on if you want me to put that in a relevant time scale, I'd have to be really boring and say I don't know. It's I've looked at it a bunch of time. We've done design documents on it, but it's not on our roadmap. That's the boring answer is it's not there, but it is something we know that Classic has. It is really cool, so I naturally want to put it into the game. So in the time scale of ever, yes, you'll get it.
I like that time scale of ever. It's a tough one, guys. That kind of comes down to, can we have this or can we have that? And as you've heard explained by these gentlemen earlier, it's hard to answer because the winds change, and if our team was Magic, they would just do it all. But yeah, no, definitely would be cool to get trophy shots. I would. Guys, we actually got through. I was starting to think we weren't going to get through, and we only got 5 minutes left. So, chat, if you have something that you'd really like to ask, and obviously it's got to be something that I can ask these gentlemen, and not like, can we have a new Jeep, or can we have this weapon? If you have any dev-related questions, hit me now in chat, and let's see. Maybe we'll get something in there. Absolutely, Amy. Absolutely. The whole team does. Let me tell you guys something as well. I'll put these two on the spot. It was not hard to get these gentlemen to come out today. In fact, they were very excited to get out here with you all. And I see it from you guys, man. You take a lot of pride in what you do, and being able to get out here with these folks and to see their real-time interactions, especially on a release day. We got to do this more often. It really, I hope this validates to you guys some of the choices you made. This is a great weapon pack. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. I mean, I'm sure somebody will because they don't like this or that, but this is a great addition to the game. So before I take a look at chat any further, I'm tipping my hat in Stockholm's direction at you both. You've done really, really well. Thank you for your energies, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, it's always a fun.
Yeah, been lurking in chat for too long. Felt it was time.
I see somebody asking, can we get more concept art publicly released? That's a good question. I'll look into if we can do that. Probably we could.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Hey, Born of the Mountains, one of our Apex comp competitors. He's been crushing it, that man. He's asking, what's your favorite part of being a dev on Call of the Wild?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is.
For me, both. One, since we are in Sweden, we're not allowed to have guns. So that's a very, very difficult challenge in some sense, but also just the fact that I'm not a hunter, and the massive challenge on my end is thinking as a hunter without being one. Luckily, I have family that are hunters. We have people like Jaxi that are hunters that help us on that end, but that's definitely one of the most challenging but also funnest part about working on Call of the Wild. It's everything is new. Everything is always exciting.
Yeah, that challenge is very humbling because you have to go from one day being an expert on dogs and to one day being an expert on weapons, and the other day you need to be expert on Australia. So you jump around trying to become expert in everything. So it's humbling experience.
Very good. That's very good. And this kind of ties in. Teak asked the question. Oh my God. It's totally flying here. When did you decide that being a game developer was the career you wanted? Ooh, juicy. That's going to be hard to answer. Too personal?
No, that's fine. From my end, I remember the first experience I had with a type of game development was when two of my older friends locked themselves in my room in my house and said, "You can't come in here." And I'm like, "What?" And they said, no, you can't come in here. And I was maybe, 7 years old. And then they were in there for 15 minutes or something, which felt like forever to me. And then when I entered, they had basically a big a paper on the floor with a big map. They've drawn a big map and a little boat. And that was my first experience with pen and paper role playing. So they said, "Now you're here, where do you want to go?" And I'm like, "What? you can make games from your brain. That was my first experience with like, oh, you can actually make games. So I think from that point on, I was always kind of set of like, I want to make games. But the road has been kind of windy because I mean, life is that's the way life is. But it started pretty early for me, at least.
I mean, I'm sad that you went first because your story is way better than mine. I mean, I studied to be a veterinarian.
Oh,
I studied to be a veterinarian and decided maybe I'll take a pause or something. Started programming, that then kind of spiraled into level design, that went into game design. I think when I realized like, oh my god, the game dev journey, it never ends. Like if I'm a veterinarian, I'll work on dogs, I work on cats. They're different colors, different sizes, but essentially it's the same. But like game dev, it's a new thing every day. I come into work, a new thing on my table. I don't know. It's a fun challenge. I think that's like one of the key parts, at least as a designer. If you like a challenge and like to just be creative, then it's why I stuck.
Yeah, you're always challenged. There's always something you need to learn. But that's interesting because we had this talk before, because I also was very into becoming a veterinarian. Yeah. I was basically going, either I want to be a veterinarian or I want to work with games. When I was, as I said, life is kind of windy. And at the end, I chose games, which we both did. And now here we are.
Now we decide how animals should be killed.
Yeah, exactly.
but there's got to be some sort of a tie-in there. Veterinarian, now you're working with digital animals.
Yeah,
there's a big circle to be found in that.
Yeah.
Don't sell yourself short, Max. That was actually that was a pretty good story too. Man, I got to tell you, chat, this has been a heck of a treat. Not only from getting the questions from all of you in Discord, and thank you for that, all the energies and passion you guys put into these questions. I would have loved to have been able to go through a whole lot more, but I'd also like to give a really big shout out to our devs here, Arshak and Max. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you for all the efforts in this most recent edition DLC. Big round of applause, chat. We're out of time. I can't believe how quick that went. Can we get another list of questions? You guys got another hour? I'm good to go. Thank you.
We're always happy
much.
to come back.
Yeah, we'll have you
back.
Not
the last time.
100%. The High Caliber Weapon Pack is out now, my friends, across all platforms, alongside the Pistol Packin' update, full of goodies. You can check out the patch notes. Links are they're all over the place. Make sure you're following all socials so you don't miss them. Get into the Discord. Hit the follow, hit the subscribe, do it with two heads if you got to. Guys, thank you so much. This was a great time. It was great for our folks to actually get to sit down with you. Arshak for coming out again. Max, we're finally getting you out here. Big round of applause. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Until next time, my friends. Hey, tomorrow, my friends, come on out. We're going for a fish, and it might be an interesting one. We'll catch you guys then.